Before we begin, subscribe to Farm Logic if you value serious agricultural history, proven land-based survival strategies, and food-growing systems that worked for centuries before modern inputs existed. This channel is about recovering what actually sustained soil, harvests, and communities long-term. And the plant you are about to learn about is one of the most overlooked tools in ancient farming. Across medieval Europe, the Caucasus, parts of Central Asia, and highland farming regions, farmers relied on a low-growing berry plant that did far more than produce food. It protected soil from erosion, fed microbes, shaded roots, held moisture, and rebuilt fertility year after year without digging or constant mulching. Today, mulch is treated as the gold standard for soil protection. Ancient farmers knew something better. They used a living system, and that system centered on ground-covering berry plants, most notably wild strawberries and their close relatives. Why ancient farmers preferred living ground cover over dead mulch? Ancient farmers understood that bare soil was failure. They also understood that dead material alone was temporary. Straw, leaves, and brush decomposed quickly and required constant replacement. Living plants, on the other hand, protected soil continuously while actively improving it. Low-growing berry plants spread horizontally, hugging the ground tightly. Their leaves shielded soil from sun and rain impact. Their roots stitched soil particles together. Their constant growth fed soil organisms through root exudates, something mulch can never do. This is why terraced farms, forest gardens, and medieval plots often show evidence of edible ground covers rather than thick layers of loose mulch. What made this berry plant uniquely effective? Wild strawberries and similar creeping berry plants grow low, spread fast, and tolerate partial shade. They produce runners that fill open soil without aggressive competition. Their shallow but dense root systems prevent erosion while leaving deeper soil layers undisturbed. Unlike many cover crops, these plants did not need to be cut down or turned in. They stayed in place year-round. Leaves died back and renewed naturally, creating a continuous, self-replacing organic layer. This meant soil stayed covered in every season, even between main crops. Moisture stayed locked in. Temperature swings were softened. Soil life remained active. How this plant functioned as a living mulch. The key difference between mulch and living ground cover is activity. Mulch is passive. Living berry cover works constantly. As the plant grows, it shades soil and reduces evaporation. As it photosynthesizes, it feeds carbohydrates into the soil through roots, feeding fungi and bacteria. As leaves age and drop, they decompose in place, adding organic matter exactly where needed. This creates a stable soil environment where fertility accumulates instead of washing away. You know, ancient farmers did not need to haul endless mulch because the plant maintained itself. How ancient farmers integrated berry ground cover into food systems. These plants were not grown in isolation. They were placed under fruit trees, between row crops, along terrace edges, and around garden beds. Their shallow roots did not compete with deeper-rooted crops. Instead, They protected the soil surface while main crops accessed deeper nutrients. In orchard systems, berry ground cover reduced weeds without disturbing tree roots. On terraces, it stabilized edges and prevented soil loss during heavy rains. In gardens, it filled gaps between plantings, so soil was never exposed. These days, modern growers can actually replicate this by planting strawberries or similar creeping berries beneath trees, along bed borders, or even between widely spaced crops. Just let the runners spread out and fill any empty soil naturally. So, why did this method outperform straw and wood chips? Well, straw tends to blow away, decomposes rather quickly, and often brings in weed seeds, which is a bit of a nuisance. Wood chips, on the other hand, take up nitrogen as they break down and can cool the soil a bit too much. But living berry cover, it adapts to the conditions instead of working against them. Once it's established, honestly, it requires very little maintenance. It just repairs itself, responds to rainfall and drought, grows where conditions allow, and retreats when space is needed. It's a pretty clever system, really. Ancient farmers valued this adaptability because, well, labour was limited and land stability was essential. How this berry plant improved soil structure over time. The constant presence of fine roots created stable soil aggregates. Water infiltrated instead of running off. Compaction decreased naturally. Earthworms and fungi thrived in the protected environment. Over years, soils under living berry cover became darker, looser and more resilient. Archaeological soil studies in old agricultural sites confirm deeper organic layers where perennial ground cover was present. So, how to apply this system step by step today? Well, begin by identifying areas of exposed soil that are not heavily trafficked. Then plant berry starts or runners in these spaces. Water them during establishment, and after that you can reduce intervention. Allow plants to spread naturally. Trim only where access is needed. Do not dig beneath them. Let fallen leaves remain in place. Over time, observe soil moisture, reduced weed pressure, and improved structure. You can supplement with occasional compost if desired, but avoid burying the plants. Why, you might wonder, did modern agriculture forget this plant? Well, industrial farming favoured those uniform fields and, mechanization above all else. Creeping ground covers, they just interfered with the machinery. So, as these systems scaled up, these plants sort of disappeared from mainstream practice. These days, home growers and small-scale farmers are, rediscovering them, because they solve multiple problems at once, without, any real cost or complexity. So, what this teaches about soil protection is quite important. Soil protection is not just about covering dirt. It's really about maintaining living systems that stabilize, feed, and regulate the ground continuously. Ancient farmers, they didn't separate food production from soil care. This berry plant honestly proves that one species can serve both purposes at the same time. Now, if you value historically proven farming systems and practical soil strategies that still work today, Do consider subscribing to Farm Logic. Share this guide with growers and land stewards and, well, help bring these lost agricultural tools back into use where they truly belong.